Hey guys, welcome back to another Robbie John tutorial. Today we're covering one of my older YouTube videos that I made probably almost a year ago. It was called, 10 months ago, there we go. Adding a motion sensor light to your game. I wanted to update the script and kind of make it work so that if you had multiple lights instead of just one, it would all essentially work. You know what I mean? All the lights would work on just that one script instead of making, let's say if you had 15 lights, you'd have 15 scripts, and it would just be kind of all over the place. So we're going to run it with one script here. It's going to come from the server script service. Obviously, you can put this kind of wherever you want as well. It doesn't have to be there. But I have it there. You just have to change your variables because in the script, you got to look up the parts that associate with your models. So what I did was I made one model basically, and then I put all the other parts of the lights and the sensors in it. So if you open it up, you have the light and it has the spotlight in it, and then you have the sensor, so when someone steps on that, it activates the light and then turns on the spotlight into that area. So I can show you right here. We're gonna hit the play button. So all you have to do is you walk into the area and the light's on. So I made it also so that if the player isn't moving in the area, the light will turn off. So it detects movement. So you can change this too in the script, and I can show you where that happens. You can turn it off so that anytime you just walk through it turns on, but see how it stays on while you're moving in it? But as soon as you stop, it'll turn off. You see what I mean? So that's the way I kind of have put together. I put it all in one script so that if you wanted to make extra models, so let's say you had a light here, and then you added another one, we just duplicate the same model, and then we duplicate it again. Boom, we have a bunch more. So you go back in. If Roblox will dock, hold on. There we go, it's docking now. So we go back in, and you can go over any of these things again, and they all work. Works great. So if we go over the scripting part of this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the model that where all the lights and stuff are. So that would be this thing right here. And then what we do is we're gonna get the players so that we register all the players that are in the game, so that if any player goes over it, that it activates. And then we get player in part, which is false, because when you first start the game, we're just going to make it start immediately as false, so the lights are off. So what we're going to do is every half a second, you can change that if you want. It's going to go through this loop to figure out if anyone is walking on those parts. So we're going to cycle through, we're going to get ourselves a table of the sensors. So the table of the sensors are basically all of the sensors that are in here. So it'll go through and it'll cycle through and be like, oh, there's a sensor here, sensor here, sensor here, sensor here, right? So we're gonna get the children, and we're gonna find the sensor, and then we're gonna insert that sensor into the table. So basically, it's grabbing them, it's putting it into a table and saying, these are the list of your sensors that you have, right? So after you do that, we're gonna identify the sensors and then whether or not you're going to touch them, right? So we're gonna get the sensors for basically every sensor. So let's say if there's 5 sensors, so for 5 of the sensors in the pair of sensors, right? So like basically it's for every sensor that's in this, we're going to make it so that we get the parts that are touching that sensor. And then currently it's still going to be false. We're going to change that as we go through, and then we're going to make the spotlight, we're going to get the light basically that we have in each one of these. So each one has their own spotlight. So you're going to go light.sensor, and because we already identified this variable that all of those sensors were in this table, so it's going to go through. It's a lot of words, man, I'm telling you. So we're going to go through every single sensor, and then we're going to find the lights through here, and then it'll come down to this. So for it'll go light, spotlight, and then it'll go light, spotlight, basically. So we're going to make sure the light is off at this point. And then we're going to check now to see if they're actually touching the part. So we're going to do for basically part that is touching in pairs. So it's going to cycle through whatever is touching it. And if it's a humanoid and it's not, you know, it's basically saying if it's not non-existent. So basically it's saying if there's a humanoid and it's touching the part, then you want to identify that humanoid. That's what we're doing here. So we're identifying what is actually touching it, and then we're going to say the player in the part is true because we've done that here, right? So we change our variable to true here, and then we print. You can print the name, which I did, and then it was printing my name here because I was the one who was touching it. And then this is the other part where you can decide whether or not you want to tell if a player is moving or standing still. And you can do different things in this part, right? So what I did was whenever a player is standing still, I just said that the light is enabled, or sorry, when they're moving, that the light is true, right? Otherwise, you can make it so that it's off or whatever. You probably could just do this too. So if you go, you can copy this down, drop this in, and just make this false so that we make sure that the light stays off in case some weird bug happens or whatever, right? And that's pretty much it when it comes down to determining whether or not a player is moving. Humanoid.moveDirection.magnitude is basically seeing how I think it measures speed basically. So it's either 1 or 0, and 1 just means a character is moving and 0 means that they're not. So that's all it is. And then that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this script helps you out. And please join my Discord if you have any questions, and like and sub to my channel. I appreciate it, guys. You all have a good night. Later.